Dear students, in this session we are discussing the final part of this essay, page number 153, paragraph number 2. History writing is also marketing. In this paragraph he is talking about another dimension of history writing, especially literary history. It is also marketing. It was the upper caste market of Indian literature which determined the acceptability of a Dalit. The blueprint of upper caste markets are the literary histories. Kerala's literature and its history are also the constructs of the upper caste market, where the tragic beauty of social survival in all its squalor and splendor is considered counterfeit. So, a book on the literary history of Kerala or Malayalam language has to be sold out in an upper caste market, or the market determined by the social power of the upper caste. And as a product for that market, the squalor, the pains, the sagas of survival of the downtrodden will not be acceptable. Literary history reveals not facts but attitudes. Very important sentence. The author makes a very important statement. Literary history reveals attitudes. It is not about facts actually. It is not as innocent as we think. The democratization of literary history occurs not when the sincerity of the writer is unquestionable, but when the writer is able to accept the possibility of literary histories from diverse perspectives. So it's a very strong statement about the person who writes a literary history. His attitude matters a lot, and he should be able to see literary history from diverse perspectives. That is the essential quality of a good historian. It is not a question of the sincerity of Govinda Pillai or Ullur. The problem before literary history writing is the social right of every community and even every individual for self-discrimination. Underline. Only if each and every person and individual and communities in a society are given equal representation, then only we can say a literary history is democratic. Hence, the Dalit perspective on literary history is also a decolonization of Savarna sensibilities. So, in a sense, the Dalits are getting colonized by the Savarna aesthetic. Now, the last paragraph. Let me conclude with Ellis Cashmore's idea of the black culture industry. That for the white, the only difference between a black Olympic champion and a black cobbler is that while the cobbler is just a clown, the Olympic champion is a fast clown. Those who are not in history hence have to interpret it anew. So he winds up his essay with a quotation. And that quotation is from Ellis Cashmore. Who is Ellis Cashmore? Ellis Cashmore is a British sociologist and cultural critic, and he talks about the Western concept of the Orient, and he talks about the Africans, the blacks. That for the white, the only difference between a black Olympic champion and a black cobbler is that while the cobbler is just a clown, the Olympic champion is a fast clown. So There is no basic difference between these two people. Both are clowns, people or creatures to be jested with, or people or creatures who are considered as mere low-class entertainers, clowns. And the last sentence of this essay, those who are not in history hence have to interpret it anew. So those who had been included in history, they are included in history with a prejudiced mind of the social authorities or the social power who govern the law, who govern the market, and who govern the attitude of the people. And that literary history has to be interpreted in a newer light if we have to acknowledge it as a democratic one. And with a hopeful note, Pradeepan Pambirikkunnu, he concludes his essay. So with this, we are completing the discussion of part A of module 6. Thank you.